guys. Good to see Andre back and skating and all that.
Yeah, it's great. Reports were good by the time we got off the plane yesterday. That he was continuing to feel all right, and he was feeling better this morning. And wanted to test it on the ice, and all reports are that he's doing well. And I talked to him; he says he's doing great. So they'll continue to monitor him and make a decision for him for tomorrow. But everything's positive right now.
And Sheldon Simmons still on track to join you for tomorrow night?
Yes, yeah. I'm not certain on his flight, but he's supposed to arrive tonight.
Okay.
What's it say about Morgan and just the group as a whole that he jumps in right away after that hit last night?
I think it just speaks to the spirit of the group. The guys sticking together. Morgan is a leader on the team, obviously, and that's not his job necessarily or what he does, but in that moment, that's what it called for, and he was there. So I think it's showing up is the biggest part of it for your teammates, and that's one of the things I really took away from the game that I liked. It was one thing, you look the game before Wayne Simmons does it, you come to expect that. That's what he's been like through his career. He's going to step up for himself and his teammates like that. But other guys just sticking together, whether it's that or some of the stuff in around the nets, those competitive pieces where our guys just do what's required in that moment. These are sidebars in the actual game itself, but it's still part of what goes on the ice, and I liked how our guys responded in those moments.
The team announced an extension for Joe Wall today. I'm sure you know that, but what does it say about his development and the churn with the Marlies and bringing guys up?
Yeah, I think it's great for him. Obviously, he impressed with his time here and did a really good job in helping us win games, and really showed very well that he's got a future as an NHL goaltender. He's got to continue to work at it, obviously, and right now he's working hard to get healthy and get back playing, but he gave us a taste of what he's capable of, and then it just gives us further reason to continue to invest in his development, and to get him for 3 years and have that commitment both ways is a great thing, and he can just focus on continuing to get better and work himself to being a full-time NHL goaltender, and then we've got all the reason to continue to give him opportunities and continue to develop him.
Speaking of goalies, which one tomorrow night?
Mrazek will go tomorrow.
That's part of just getting both guys going.
Yeah, I really wanted to get both goalies in on this trip, so I think that's the best way to do it is to split them here for the first 2 games, and then we'll make a decision for Monday from that.
Any concerns with Jack giving up 5 last night, or is that more situational, giving up prime opportunities?
Yeah, like I said last night, I think Jack was in a tough spot in the game last night, and there's not a whole lot of activity happening at all for him. I mean, we were giving up nothing through the game up until really their first goal. I think that one hits Justin Hall's stick, and you get the another that hits Jake Muzzin. That goes in, the back door to face off. Not a lot you're going to do there. Another one's posted in. These are really good looks coming at a time when he really hadn't been tested much at all. I think if Jack, as the competitor that he is, I know he wants to have those and all that. But I didn't like that part of the game. Just we went from full control of the game and giving up virtually nothing to all of a sudden you're really counting on your goalie. That's a tough spot. So I don't put much of that onto Jack at all. And our focus today again was just cleaning up our game in those details and understanding that we're in full control. Things are going well. We scored to make it 1-0 and had full control of the game, but let it slip to go 1-1, and then it goes from 2 to 4-1 in a hurry, and that's unacceptable on our part. That's not nothing to do with goaltending.
How about Peter? Have you been encouraged by what he's been able to do in the limited time since he's been sort of back full time?
Yeah, he's been great, both in his performance in the games, his work ethic in practice, his attitude around the group, just the way he's worked in the gym and the way he's taking care of his body. All those things have just really come together nicely for him. So all those reasons, it makes it easy to give Jack time off and to give Peter more work.
When you're looking at the game tape from yesterday and you're talking about those mistakes, are those easy fixes, just given the way that you guys played throughout the whole game, or is it just
I think they're easy fixes. I mean, like I talked about yesterday, there's first goal is just an issue on our back check coming back in, and we've got numbers there. We just give up a little bit too much space. Another one, the second goal is a face-off play that we discussed and met about before the game, and it's one that we see quite often. It's very common in the league, and we know how we want to defend that, and quite often we do a really good job of it. But in that moment, we didn't. So those kind of things can be cleaned up. The power play goal they score is, it's a lost face-off, and then it's shot at your net and redirects off our guy. Not much going on there, but neutral zone issue on the fourth goal. I think those things are quick cleanups, which is why we talked about them really quickly today. We're really focused on the good things that we did in the game against a very good team. That if we continue to focus on those things, we're going to continue to put together good stretches of hockey like we've done all season.
And just about last night too, Sheldon, a lot of good things that the team did, as you were saying after the game, but you happy though to presumably return to a 12-6 formation for tomorrow night?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's how we prefer to play.
Right.
That's that. I mean, you go into yesterday's game, you've got no Simmons, and our salary cap situation being what it is, we don't have a lot of options. Our only other option was to send down any of our guys that don't require waivers, such as Sandin or Liljegren, and to bring up a forward. So we didn't want to do that, and thought that going 11-7 made some sense for us given those circumstances. But it'd be nice to get Simmer back, and if Cash is good to go, it gets us back to 12-6, and obviously that's how we like to play and get back to it.
How have the Canucks been different under Boudreau since their coaching change?
Obviously, the energy around the team. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. Anytime you've been on the wrong side of games for a long period of time, it wears on a team. But it seems like they've got great energy about them. They've got a goaltender that's given them a chance to win every single time he's in the net. They've got some really good players that if you make mistakes, they make you pay for it. So, it's going to be games. It's going to be challenging to get offense and to score goals. We've got to make it hard to do so, and we have to do a good job against their best people. That's really it. But just generally the recipe every night. But certainly, going into tomorrow seems like that's the case.
Do you have any history with Bruce Boudreau at all? Him being a fellow coach, an ex-Leaf, and a huge Leaf fan when he's not coaching?
No, we chatted a little bit, over the last little while since he didn't have a job and we were looking for guys. We went through that process, but I think it was very clear to me that Bruce is he's proven to be a very successful head coach in the league, and that's where he belongs. So it was good to see him get back behind the bench and calling the shots.
Do you see the bench minors, the too many men stuff, as an area that needs to be cleaned up, or is that kind of an anomaly the way that's played out the first half of the season?
Yeah, I see it as it has to be cleaned up. First of all, there's no question about that, but I do see it as a bit of an anomaly. I mean, the too many men on the ice thing, for anyone that's ever been on a bench, the way those things kind of play out is they happen so fast, and there's different circumstances. Last night's one where Austin's guy that he's changing for is coming off the ice, and Austin sees that. He turns, begins to hop over the boards. He's looking at the puck to try to find the puck, so when he gets on the ice, he knows where to go. And in that time, the guy he was changing for changed his mind and turned around and went back into the play. So those are the kind of things that tend to happen. So, the players need to be aware. They need to be alert of what's going on. Coach's job is to call the players up, and the player's job is to know what's happening in the line changes. So we need to be sharp in that area. But I mean, it's not one that I'm going to spend too much time on, because it's just happenstance really through the game, and just so happens it hasn't gone our way well this season. We need to be better in that area, but I got a lot of the things that are higher priority, let's put it that way.
If a shift is 45 to 55 seconds or so, how soon into to one shift are you calling the numbers for the next guys up?
Usually, it depends. Sometimes immediately, just so you guys know, but sometimes you need a little bit of time just to get a feel for what's happening on the other side. Sometimes you make decisions based on where the puck is and how the shift is going. So, I'd call it about 20 seconds or so, about halfway through the shift. Sometimes you call an audible and switch it again, but that's rare. But I try to buy a little bit of time just based on what's happening in the shift, because that sometimes does determine who the next line is.